going to write a program here that that reads a value from the user that is the number from which the user wants to count down. And then in the method, we're going to actually run the countdown, which uses the same logic, essentially, that we used in programming assignment 3 to do the countdown timer before taking an order. So in this part of the ride-along, we're just going to define the method header for the new method. So in order to do that, we've got this program that is already all set up with the using static system console and the debug pause down here. So it's all ready to go. But the first thing I want to do is to define the method header. So you remember that main is a method. Well, the new method we're about to build is at the same level as main. So you just come down to the brace here at the end of the main method, come down a couple of lines, and then you're ready to start typing. So let me point out that you can see the anatomy of a header, a method header, on page 273 in the book. So if after I'm done here you have any remaining questions, please turn to the book and take a look. So the first thing we'll type is the word private. Private is called an access modifier. You can specify different access modifiers. The most frequently used are private and public. What this says is that within this class, any method can call this method, but outside the class, the method is invisible. So it's only accessible from within the class. There are cases where you could have a program that has many classes in it. And in that case, if you wanted to make the method accessible to methods that live outside the class, you use the word public. Next is the keyword static. For now, just take it as written that if you're creating a method, you have to use this keyword static. Later on, you'll learn what it means and when it's required and when it's not. But for the methods we'll be building, you always need to use the word static. The next thing is the keyword void. What void means is that the method you're about to build doesn't return anything. Void is a special return type that means nothing's coming back from this method when it finishes executing. If you were returning a string from the method, the way readline does, then you put the word string in here. But we'll actually return some values later on in a later video. But for now, it's just the word void. Then the name of the method. Method names are in Pascal case, which means they're like camel case that we've been using for variables, but they start with a capital letter. So if you think about read line and write line, they start with capital letters. So do all the methods that you're going to build. That's our standard, and that's the convention for C#. These parentheses are the place where you'd specify what kind of input is required for the method. And for this method, for the first iteration of this that we're going to build here, there's no input required to the method. So we're just going to leave that alone, leave the parentheses blank. And then to finish up, you put in curly braces. And within the curly braces, you're going to place the statements that will execute when the method is invoked. So that's it for defining the method header